Hey, 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 hola. Wow, we are doing some late night streaming tonight. So today's video is going to be all about what is the 90-day metabolic makeover. So I wanted to talk more about what the program really is, because I've been getting a lot of questions about that, and a little bit more about me and why I created it. So if you are tuning in, feel free to leave a comment, and I will try to answer them kind of as we go through the video today. But if you are new here and this is the first time that you're catching me, you probably can see my name on the screen, but I've been having so many new connections lately. I feel like it was really a good idea to make this video and talk about what is the 90-day metabolic makeover, who's it for, and a little bit more about me. And I feel a sneeze coming on. Hold on. Oh, goodness. So very live. So again, feel free to leave a comment and say hi to me. So my name is Dr. Alexandria Rosa, but I like to go by Dr. Alex. That feels right to me to be called that. And I am a women's health practitioner, and I really focus on holistic health and wellness for women, and especially women who have metabolic syndrome. And so not a lot of women realize what metabolic syndrome is, but they have a lot of the conditions underneath it. So this video today is going to be very women focused, because the video is really explaining what the 90-day metabolic makeover is. And this program is especially for women, especially if you're a woman 35 and up. This is going to be really especially important information that I'll share for you, because this is really going to hit home for a lot of the things that you might be dealing with health-wise that you haven't been able to get any answers to. So if you're finding this information valuable, share this video, because so much of my bigger mission is to really end generational cycles of chronic diseases like high blood pressure, like diabetes, especially in minority populations and minority women and women of color. So I'm Latina, I'm Puerto Rican, and we know it has been proven a fact that minority populations are disproportionately affected by high blood pressure, diabetes, and so many other chronic diseases. And so my bigger mission is to really make a dent in this, because it doesn't have to be this way. And so much of these disease processes is related to socioeconomic, it's related to education, it's related to food, nutrition, it's related to lifestyle, it's related to culture and religion. It's related to so much more than just the food that we're eating or tracking calories or anything like that. It's so much bigger, so much deeper. And that's where the holistic health part really comes into play. And that's what really sets it apart. And so I'm the founder and creator of Spice and the 90-day metabolic makeover, like what we're going to talk about today. So Spice is really the holistic element, the holistic framework that I use behind all my teachings and everything that I do, my entire practice, and how I teach other nursing students and everything that I do. And it really focuses on the different dimensions of wellness that you have and what makes you up. So the S stands for your spiritual health, and the P stands for your physical health. The I stands for insight, self-awareness. The C stands for career wellness, and the E stands for emotional wellness. So those are all areas that come into play in our lives, in our health, but not a lot of healthcare providers have any time to address any of that with you. And so often when you are making changes in your health, you're going for help. Most of the time you're being met with, take some pills, go do this, go get an app, go count calories, go get a trainer, go do whatever. And that's not really addressing any of the deeper issues or any of the issues surrounding your health that are really impacting why you are the way you are. Okay. And that's so much of how you are in the situation that you're in today, and why you're wanting to change your health, maybe why you're watching this video right now, because you know there's something deeper holding you back regarding your health, and there's something that you can do about it, but just nobody has really figured out exactly how to show you the way yet, in a way that makes sense for you. And that's what I really strive to do with my 90-day metabolic makeover and with Spice and everything that I teach. So Going back to exactly what metabolic syndrome is. So, if you're a woman over 35 and you have high blood pressure, you have diabetes, you have high cholesterol, you have issues with chronic inflammation, maybe you have PCOS, maybe you have chronic fatigue syndrome, all of those things fall under metabolic syndrome. And so one of those usually leads to another. That's kind of how things work in health. When you get a problem in one place, if you don't fix it, it's going to start impacting another area of your life. And so that's what happens so often. You start with high blood pressure, then you end up with diabetes. You have diabetes, you end up with high blood pressure, and then you go to other things, fatty liver, and all kinds of other things. So stop it at as early as you can. Do some intervention as early as you can. So another thing that comes into play with that is hormones. So when we start, we're in that 35 and up type of range, our estrogen levels are dropping. We are starting to go through perimenopause at this early age, and perimenopause can last for 10 years or more until you stop getting your period, and it's been a year after that. Then you're truly in menopause. So during all that time, we start to deal with so many hormonal changes and body fat starting to shift into places that it was not there before. And we're feeling different types of ways. Maybe we're having hot flashes, maybe we're having mood swings, and nothing that we seemed to do before is working anymore. None of the workouts, none of the foods that we used to eat, none of that stuff works anymore. And we're just wondering, are we going crazy or what's happening? And if you don't change what you're doing, then you're going to stay the same or get worse. That's what's the problem is when it comes to that time in your life. And so you have to try something different. You have to try something new to your body to make a change. And so often, like I said, when you go to your healthcare provider, a lot of times they don't do any hormonal testing for you. They're not going to really talk to you, learn about you, your culture, your religion, what do you like to eat, what you don't like to eat. They're not going to take the time to learn any of that stuff about you. And again, that is really what is leading you to be how you are in this moment that you're coming to them, in this moment of crisis. That's why you're coming to them. And also, you can really just look at your family tree to see your future. It is very honest as that's how I have to be, because I know that's what I had to do for myself. You just have to look at your family tree to know exactly what you're going to look like, what is going to happen to you. That's exactly why we ask for your family history when we're doing your intake and doing your assessments. What is your family history? Because more than likely you're predisposed to all of that. You can look at entire families and know how they're all related by the different body types and how people look. Same thing for the outward appearance, same thing goes for the inside. So if you have family members who are diabetic, who do have high pressure, who are having strokes and having heart attacks and all the things, then you more than likely are going to end up down that same road unless you do some serious work now to prevent that later on down the road. So I know for myself, that's one of the biggest drivers of why I created my 90-day metabolic makeover, was because my entire family, diabetic, on insulin, on pills, missing toes, missing legs, missing knees, kidney problems, high blood pressure, strokes. My dad passed away from a stroke and needed to get rehab, and then had another stroke and had terrible diabetes, uncontrolled, did not take care of himself. And ultimately that led to his passing. So many people in my family, I knew that if I kept going the way I was going, because I was just following along with what everybody else was doing. And I sure did look like everybody else. I was gaining weight at a very young age. I was not watching what I was eating. I was just headed down I was headed down the wrong path, on multiple blood pressure medications, on medications for panic attacks and anxiety and depression, more medications they wanted to add to me. And I was tired of it. I did not want to do that anymore. And I knew that diabetes was down my road, heart attack was down my road, stroke was down my road, because I saw it all around me. So finally, I had to make a very hard decision to change. And so I started implementing things every single day into my life until I got to the point where I am now, where I was able to get off of my blood pressure medications. I was able to get off of all of my depression and anxiety medications. And it was hard. It is very hard. But if it was easy, we wouldn't have any of these issues that we have going on now. So it took a lot of work to get to that point. So that's more the personal reason. And also, after I had my youngest child, I went into heart failure after I had him because I was overweight, because I had high blood pressure. I went into heart failure. I'm like 30 some years old going into fucking heart failure. Like, that's ridiculous. And so they wanted to add more medication. And I said, no, I'm not doing that. There's a better way. And so that's was the beginning of the evolution that turned into the 90-day metabolic makeover. And so really that's what we can do. That's what I'm going to do with this program is ending those cycles of high blood pressure, of diabetes, those generational cycles, because that's exactly what it is. It's making entire families sick. It's causing entire families to have complications and to die. We got to be real. That's what's happening. So in my 90-day metabolic makeover, there are no shakes, there's no products, there's no creams, there's no lotions, there's no potions. There is none of that. I do everything as naturally and as safely as possible for you. My goal is for you to be as natural in a healthy way as you want to be. And if you're on medications, if your goal is to get off of those medications, then that's what we're going to attempt to do. We're going to do it safely. We're going to work with your provider. You're going to work with me. We're going to get you where you want to be. And I do that through intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is the tool that I use in the 90-day metabolic makeover. So I know a lot of people out there have tried intermittent fasting before and they liked it. They did see that it worked because it does work, but then they kind of fell off the wagon a little bit and now they kind of want to be reintroduced into it. So intermittent fasting is the tool that I use for it. And I love intermittent fasting because it is the number one thing that you can do to really reverse diabetes. You can entirely reverse diabetes with intermittent fasting. And so I don't want you to be on pills. I don't want you to be on insulin. I know you don't want to be on pills and insulin. So we use intermittent fasting to help with that. We also are very careful about monitoring blood pressure. So if you're on the program, monitor your blood pressure every morning and every night, and you're sending me those pictures of your readings. As far as your intermittent fasting schedule, we figure out a schedule that works for you. We start very slow and we work up and we find a fasting time that works for you with your schedule and your lifestyle. And that's probably the greatest thing about intermittent fasting. A little bit of internet issue. There we go. I worked for years and years and years, nights. And the great thing about intermittent fasting is you can just fast is when you get home. You sleep to your advantage. That's the biggest tip I can share is you sleep to your advantage. Use your sleeping hours towards your fasting time. And start slow. Start with 10-hour fasts and then go every time, every day, go 30 minutes, 30 minutes longer, 30 minutes longer. And before you know it, you're going to get to like that 16-hour range, or you can go longer or you can go shorter. That's the amazing thing about intermittent fasting. You control it. And that's probably the most powerful part of intermittent fasting is it's finally an area of your life where you can have mastery over, that you can control because you decide how long, how short, how frequent that you want to fast. And it's entirely within your control. So it's pretty powerful in that way because I know with so many other programs and types of eating that the counting calories and the measuring food and measuring portions, tracking everything. Ain't nobody got time for that. A lot of the women that come to me, they are way too busy for that type of stuff. And B, that can be triggering for a lot of women who have had not so great relationships with food in the past and around that. So the way that we track food and that I know what you're doing is that I have you take pictures of your meals. So you take pictures of every single thing that you eat. And I tell you everything that goes in your mouth, good, bad, or ugly, you got to send me a picture of. You have to own what you're doing. So be honest. Send me pictures of everything that you're doing. That way we can see in real time what you're doing. And that way I can look exactly at what you're eating and say, hey, you need a little bit of this, you need more of this, you need less of that. Take away that, let's add this. And it's just, it keeps a good way to keep track of what you're eating and how much and all the things. And that's just a little bit of that part. But that's really, there is no tracking and calorie counting and measuring and any of that stuff. There's none of that. But what I will have you do is focus on eating real food. I don't want you eating out, eating fast food, eating processed foods, because that's the other way that people totally mess up their intermittent fasting is they feel like when they're in their eating window, when they're allowed to eat, they just want to eat whatever the heck they want to eat. And that's not how you do it. It's not a free pass to eat whatever you want during those hours that you're eating. You really have to change how you eat because how you ate is why you're in the place that you're at right now. That's exactly why. So you have to change how you're eating. You can't keep eating what you were eating and expect things to magically change for you. They're not. So we look at your nutrition, we make sure you're eating the right foods, but as far as measuring and counting and all that other stuff, we don't do that. Ain't nobody got time for that kind of stuff. So that's that part of it. I run lab work on you. And so if you're afraid of needles, this could possibly be a barrier for you, but your health or afraid of needles. So lab work, I have created a women's wellness panel. So I work with labs all over the United States. You pick a lab that is closest to you. We order the lab work for you. We run all your basic lab work. We do hormonal testing. We do micronutrient testing, which is really amazing to do micronutrient testing. So we look at all the little things, the magnesium, calcium, selenium, copper, zinc, all those pieces and parts, because those little micronutrients are really the catalyst for so many of your body functions. And when those are out of proportion, that's when things cannot be working for you very well. So we make sure we identify what all those are. I run a urine sample on you. We look at insulin levels and glucose and A1C. We look at all of that. And so I get all that drawn for you. You go get it done, get the results, and I sit down with you and I go over every single thing with you in depth, every single report. Because how often have you gone and got blood work and you don't hear from the doctor? And it's like, no news is good news. Well, for some people, that's not enough. Like, you want to know what were your labs, what came up, what should I be looking out for? But a lot of times you don't get none of that kind of stuff. I know I didn't. I just had labs done not too long ago and then nobody called me about nothing. You have to be your best advocate. So we go through all your lab work, go through everything very in depth to see what is really happening inside of your body. Based on your lab work, we can create a better game plan, a very specific, individualized, customized plan for you. And what I also do is I incorporate IV hydration therapy into my program. So based on your lab results, I find a IV hydration lab near you because they're all over the place now. So, and if you're local to me in Ohio and you're near the Cleveland area, I will have you come to the Cleveland location where I'm at and get IV hydration therapy. So we'll mix up a special customized drip that will benefit you based on your results to fill in all those little gaps that you have. So we do customized IV therapy for you. Then at the end of your 90 days, you're going to get another set of labs drawn. And then you're really going to be able to see the big difference between where you started and where you're at. Because you'll be able to see it on the outside, but where it really matters is on the inside, is that cholesterol, it's that A1C, it's your glucose levels. It's all of those numbers, that data. That is what we want to look at. So we'll get those labs done at the end. And as far as support from me, you get me 24/7. I am here for you. And I specifically designed my program like that because I only work with a handful of women at one time. So I'm able to be available to you via Voxer, via Messenger, and that's how you can keep in touch with me. We'll meet once a week. So once a week, you'll get a telehealth session with me. So we'll go over the week. We'll plan out your meals. We'll plan out your grocery list. We'll do all the things. We'll talk about what's working, what's not working. what's coming up for you. And that's what's really wonderful about working one-on-one with somebody in real time, because a lot of my clients are very busy. They own businesses. Um, they are traveling a lot. And so if you're out and about or you have things coming up, we're able to plan appropriately. And if you're going to be at such and such hotel for a week, I'm going to need to know, what is the restaurant there? What is the room service like there? What other restaurants around there like? Where are you going to be eating? So you're able to send me restaurant links, websites, menus, screenshots, whatever you want to send me. That way we can look at things and really do it in real time. What are you going to eat? What options should you go for if you're going to go to this restaurant? That's what I'm here for, to help guide you and support you every step of the way, because it's life. And fasting is so amazing because you can fit it into your lifestyle. You don't have to try to work around this type of eating. You don't. You work fasting into your life. You don't have to fast all the time. You can decide to not fast for a couple of days and then go back to really hitting it hard after that if you want to. It's all within your power. You can totally fast while you are on long work trips. It's totally possible. Just got to do a little bit of planning and have the right support in place, and you're going to be successful. And that's why I'm here. So those are just some of the standout things that I have with my 90-day metabolic makeover. So if you ever have any questions about the program, you can always reach out to me, send me a message, or you can even leave a comment here with the video whenever you might be watching it. So that way I can go back and answer your questions or send you a message. And like I said, if you're a woman 40, 35 and up, this is really what's happening inside of your body. It's the hormones, it is the insulin sensitivity, because that's really what it is. That's what drives so much of the inability to lose the weight like you used to, is those high insulin levels. And so how do we naturally reduce those? How do we naturally get you more sensitive to your own insulin? So that way you can start igniting your metabolism at any age. Age is not an excuse. Age is not an excuse for, oh, I can't lose weight. Oh, I can't go work out. Oh, I can't do this. No, honey. No, it is not. You are totally capable of taking your health into your own hands. And that's what you need to do. Stop being a victim of all this other shit that's going on and all these other excuses that you got. Stop it. Don't let those excuses, don't let that impact your life, and decide how you're going to live your life and what you're going to do with yourself and your body. Because I know, if I know you right, you got big dreams, you got things you want to do, you got people to serve. And you can only do that if you got a healthy body, if you're focused, if you got that stamina. That's the only way you're going to be able to do it. So don't play yourself. Don't keep waiting and pushing it off. I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to do it tomorrow. Because tomorrow is not promised. And that might sound hella dramatic, but in all honesty, it's not. Because I worked over 9 years in ICUs, cardiac ICUs. And how many stories did I hear? Oh, that was the last time I talked to him. That was the last time I saw him. Oh, he was doing this, doing this. You don't know when your last moment is going to be with somebody. And we keep thinking we got all this extra time to fucking fool around with when we really don't. We really do not. So take control of your health, because it's entirely within your power to do this. It really is. So don't leave it up to somebody else. Don't let it be somebody else's decision. Don't let anything else hold you back from making that choice, making that decision to do something for you. Because it's not selfish in the least to want your best health, to be there for the people that count on you. You're only doing yourself a disservice if you keep playing yourself and keep thinking that you're going to keep doing what you're doing and think that you're going to outlast all this other shit, all these other little bombs that you got in your body. They're going to go off. They're going to go off whenever they feel like it, and it's going to be at the worst time. I have seen it time and time again working in the hospital. It will happen eventually, unless you do something about it today. You have to. That's why I'm out here. We got to end these generational cycles of diabetes, high blood pressure, It doesn't have to be your future. You can defy the odds. You can break the cycle. Don't use the excuse, oh, my dad got it, my sister got it, so I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna have it, blah, blah, blah. No, you don't have to. I'm an example of that. There are so many other people that have taken their health into their hands. So don't let that be your story, because that's not. You got a whole nother story to write. And it does not involve taking pills, taking insulin, being on machines. No. And yes, LinkedIn user, this is live right now. So go ahead and say hi if you want to, but I'm going to wrap this up here pretty soon. I kind of went off a little bit. I don't know. I just wanted to come on and talk a little bit more about that and what the program is and entails, because I've been getting a lot of questions about what really is it. And that's pretty much what exactly it is. Those are the technical parts. But I'm going to make another video about the shit that really matters about the program and what it can really do for you, because I know the technical parts are just an excuse sometimes that people want to get into to decide not to do something, is because, oh, well, I didn't like this, no, I didn't like that. The bigger picture is, you know, you got to do something about your health, and you got to do it today. And it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be convenient. It's going to be hard. You're going to have to answer to somebody. Somebody's going to have to hold you accountable, because you haven't been able to hold yourself accountable as of yet, or else you wouldn't be here right now in this situation. So that's why I'm here. And I have to do my, how do I call it? I wouldn't be doing my job and being in the position that I'm in if I wasn't being real and being honest with people, because they don't help nobody if I'm not being honest with them. And I see Miss Diane asks if I take insurance. No, I do not take insurance. Insurance does not pay for people to be well. Insurance pays for disease treatment. It don't pay for disease prevention. And that is the truth. That is a fact. So no, I do not take insurance. I do have many options to work with me. So if that's something that you'd be interested in, you can definitely reach out to me. I have different options for that. But yeah. ¿Qué onda, familia? Oh, hi. Hi. Nice to see you. Thanks for stopping on. Yeah. So that's my video for tonight. But definitely feel free to share this video. I know it's long. It's almost 30 minutes. Ay, 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 caramba. But in any case, thank you for sticking with me. And I'll do another one during the day, but I just wanted to make sure I came on live tonight and talked about this. So let me know if you have any questions. If you made it this far in the video, holy moly, thank you. But I'm going to sign off for now. And like I always say, for a balanced life, just add spice. Talk to you mañana.